To start off, on the rear left of the engine compartment you have your brake fluid cap with tank. In car braking systems, the tank is there to store excess brake fluid of the system. Moving left, you have one of your ground cables and fastener to hold that part of the expansion tank to the car. Moving left, you have your pressure cap and expansion tank. On the tank itself, you have two of your pipes that are part of your expansion tank system. To the right of the tank, you have your left engine mount. Inside the mount, you have rubber to try and prevent vibrations going into the cabin. Located in the middle of the mount, you have your bracket. On the bracket itself, you have information to tell service personnel what engine does the bracket belong to. In front of the expansion tank, you have your electrical connector. On the back of the headlight, you have one of your service covers that you can remove to gain access to the interior of the headlight. In blue, you have your washer fluid cap and fastener to hold down one of your pipes. Below the pipe, you have your washer fluid tank. On the air conditioning pipe, you have a sensor to tell the climate control ECU the pressure in the line. The air conditioning recharge points are used to recharge the air conditioning system. Below the other air conditioning pipe, you have one of your chassis rails. Located between the radiator assembly and the engine, you have your alternator. When the engine is operating, the alternator powers your 12-volt system and charges your 12-volt battery. Without the alternator, the engine would shut down and the electrical system would not work. Under the alternator, you have your air conditioning compressor. In front of the air conditioning compressor, you have your coolant pipe going to the engine. Moving over, you have different components like wiring harnesses, sensors, cylinder block, and other components. You can just see it in this shot. You have your spin-on oil filter. Moving the camera closer to the cylinder block, you can see your starter motor solenoid. Looking at the radiator assembly, you have your bonnet release cable. When you operate the bonnet lever, you move the metal inside the rubber to operate the bonnet latch. You also have a surround that surrounds the cooling fan to improve fan efficiency. Located at the front right of the engine compartment, you have your manual adjustment for headlight aim. On the headlight itself, you have information about the headlight. The E marking means that the part has been approved to be used in the European Union. To the left of the headlight, you have your air intake pipe. Just ahead of the air intake pipe, you have one of the many hose clamps inside the engine compartment. To the right, you have one of your airbag crash sensors. In the middle of the slam panel, you have your bonnet latch release lever. To the left, you have a location to hold the prop stick down when not in use. Located in the center between the engine and radiator assembly, you have your throttle body electronics. When you press on the accelerator pedal, you tell the engine control unit how much output you want. The engine control unit then moves the throttle plate by using the electric motor inside the electronics. Please note, this explanation is simplified. Moving the camera left, you have your intake manifold and boost pressure sensor. In the left front of the engine compartment, you have your air filter lid. In nearly every car today, you will have a mass airflow sensor. The sensor is used to measure how much air is going into the engine. Behind the filter, you have your absorbent glass mat 12-volt battery. On the battery itself, you have a cover that covers your positive battery post. To the right, you have your negative post and battery monitoring sensor. To the right, you have your power distribution box lid. At the rear of the engine compartment you have your turbocharger. The turbo is used to boost the engine's power by forcing more air into the engine. On the turbocharger itself you have your oil supply line. Oil in a turbocharger is absolutely critical because it lubricates the bearings in the turbocharger. To the left you have one of your emission control sensors. In the rear right of the engine compartment you have your ABS modulator. FR means that port is used for the offside front wheel cylinder. Looking down you have your steering rack and transmission. Looking aft you have your brake pipes. In an engine compartment, sound deadening is used to reduce noise going into the cabin. Thank you very much for watching my video and goodbye.